Good afternoon to everybody here. My name is Timothy A. Oguleye. I'm talking all the way from Osun State University, Osogbo, Nigeria. I'm here to coordinate, to anchor this program, this webinar program on Stata for the beginners and intermediates, to be delivered by Professor Gavar M. Oyeyemi, for the current head of Department of Statistics, University of Ilorin. So I would like to welcome our professor to give us this 90 minutes webinar so that we'll be able to have to tap from his knowledge. So Prof, over to you, please. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Timothy Oguleye, the CEO of TIMAR, the coordinator, and at the same time, the moderator of this webinar. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. As a matter of introducing myself, my name is Professor Gafar Matami Oyeyemi of Department of Statistics, University of Ilorin. I'm currently the head of the department. I once again welcome you all to this webinar titled Data for the Beginners and the Intermediates. Let me just first share with you the content of this webinar. We are going to look at the expected outcomes or objectives of this webinar. So, of these 30 minutes or thereabout, the participants are expected to appreciate the package known as Stata. Not only that, how to open, access, append, updating log file, then how do we get data into Stata environment? The participants will be able to know all this at the end of this seminar. They how to execute some simple tasks: descriptive statistics, summary statistics, then graphics as well. When I say graphics, I'm referring to scatter plots, line graphs, bar charts, and so on. Then we look at elementary, so to call, inferential statistics, like a test of hypothesis, how do we fit linear model as well? Simple, multiple content. So we are going to look at this we call it, we see then log file, because this log file is very important in Stata.
Sorry, Prof, you are muted. Can you unmute? Sorry, please. We can't hear you from my own end.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Prof.
Hello.
We can hear you now,
Prof. We can hear you.
So we, all right. Okay. So we look at the data management in preparation for actual data analysis. We are going to also look at descriptive statistics. Then from there, we look at the graphics, the scatter plots, line graph, among others. Then, as I've said, the inferential statistics that we are going to look into are tests of hypothesis here. So under univariate setting, we are going to look at one sample t-test, two sample, PRT test, and one-way ANOVA. Then we are going to consider multivariate setting. This is when we have more than two dependent variables or response variables. So we are going to look at one sample case, two sample case, and as well as when we have more than two samples. Then finally, we look at the modeling. When we say modeling, I'm referring to linear regression model. So we look at the three scenarios. When we have simple linear regression model, then the multiple, as well as the multivariate linear regression, as well as their related tests. Without wasting our time, let me quickly take us to Stata environment or the Stata package as it is. So what I'm sharing with you is what you are going to see when you open a Stata. Assuming you have loaded the package on your system and you run it, this is what you are going to see. Basically, you are likely to see 4 different windows. The bigger one is what we refer to as output window. Just below it, very tiny, is the command window. Then by the left, you are going to see the command review window. Then on the right-hand side, you will see variable review window. All these windows have their specific or peculiar relevance or usage. The output window is window you are going to see all the results of your analysis. So whatever you do, so this is where the result will be displayed. Then below it, what we call command window is the window that serves as interface between you, that is the starter, and yourself. So all the instructions or to that command, and the system or the starter will execute it for you if it is executable, that is if it is without error. Then the command review window, all the instruction, all the messages you pass into the starter will be displayed on that window. It serves different purposes. So if you want to review a particular code, you can on it and do whatever you may want to. The variable window are going to display the properties of your variables, the number of variables you have in your data set, and as well as their respective property. Then on the top of the window, you are going to see what we are all used to on some of the windows, that is either Microsoft Windows, Microsoft Excel. These are peculiar to them. We have file, we have edit, data, graphics, and so on. So these are useful if you want to be interacting with the starter through what we call point and click method. That is, you just point to a particular task like this file. So you just from the drop-down menu, you are going to pick whatever task you may want the starter to do for you. The same thing if you go along to the statistics itself. So you click on a particular task you may want the starter to execute for you. From there, it's going to display a dialog box from which you are going to select the appropriate variables. And when you click OK, then the starter will execute the task for us. So this will take us to how do we interact with Stata. Basically, there are 2 ways by which you can interact with this package. The first one, which we are familiar with, is what we call GUI, Graph User Interface, which we call a point and click method. So you just point to any taskbar menu. So from there, it's going to display a dialog box, and from there you provide the necessary arguments. And when you say OK, then the starter will execute that task for you. It could be linear regression, it could be test of hypothesis. The other way by which we can interact with the starter is via command. That is through command. And it is this window, this small window where you see command. This is where you are going to be interfacing with the package by just passing through simple instruction, and the starter will execute for you if that instruction is valid. That is, if there is no error in that command. So in this particular webinar, we are going to limit ourselves, or we encourage ourselves to be using command. Though as a beginner, so maybe using the 2 together, the GUI as well as the command approach. Before I leave this particular content, I want to show us the spreadsheet for Stata. When you click on this icon, when you click on this spreadsheet, so this spreadsheet is where you are going to enter your data. If you want to enter the data directly, so you enter the data here and you close back the, so like I'm going to get there later. So you we call this one the data editor. I will now take us to the next content, which is the creating or opening of log files. Log file is very, very important in Stata, in the sense that if I don't open a log file or create a log file, whatever I'm doing on Stata and anything happens to the system or the package or what have you, and the system goes off, all the results I've been doing all the while will go with that package. I won't be able to access it. So, but the first task we always encourage ourselves when we are operating or you want to use this package is to first of all open a log file. When you open a log file, all what you are doing, all analysis, either the command, even the output, will be saved in that log file. That is why that log file is very, very important. Now, we have two types of log file. We have what we call SMCL file, and we have text, TEXT file. The SMCL file can only be accessed by the package, only the package. The other packages, let's say Excel, let's say Notepad or WordPad, will not be able to access that file. But if it is text file, the Notepad, the WordPad, Microsoft Word can be used to open such file. Then how do we open a log file? The command adds just 3 arguments. So the first argument is log, meaning that I'm about to open a log file. The file, the command is saying using this file name which I want to provide. Let me say I want to provide the name to the bio. Permit me to use this word, bio.